Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel. Welcome back to the Rory Talks Arsenal YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well. It is a Thursday. It's a Thursday. We've got a few things to talk about. Gabriel Jesus, some videos floating around of him in training. So we're going to talk about that. Is Gabriel Magalhaes the best centre-back on the planet? I genuinely think it's a conversation worth having. And who's our biggest threat, both in the Premier League and the Champions League, after another round of Champions League games last night? Before we get into it, if I could just ask you to subscribe. We are edging closer to 25,000 subscribers. If you could like the video on your way in as well, and if you're watching on the replay, please do the hype thing down in the comments. There's loads of you here, which we absolutely love to see. Hyper, Ethan Udall, VV Vlad, Spoofer, Oslo Guna, Ben, Icarus, Robert is here as well, Philip Jakobsen, Elias, Alex. Is it Elias or Elias? Probably Elias. Elias doesn't sound like a name. Wills is here. El Minister. Lee, good to see you. Fernando. Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus. What a striker team we've got. Yeah, look. I mean, currently we've only got Gyökeres, but Havertz and Jesus both on their way back. By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, please do like, I suppose. And if you want to get in the chat, the link is in the bio to the YouTube channel, which is where I read the chat. Mead has made it. You love to see it. Carter's in the building. The Goon Platoon are edging. There you go. Immense eye contact. You're welcome. According to Mundo Deportivo, Arsenal will try and convince Nico Paz to join them instead of Real Madrid. Good luck, is all I will say about that. The thing is, haven't Real Madrid got like a crazy buyback clause for Nico Paz? Unless I'm making that up. But I think, isn't there a thing where Real Madrid can take him back for like 10 million euros or something? So I think that'll be very difficult. I do think it'll be difficult. I mean, listen, I've not even seen a huge amount of him play. I've only seen highlights, but he seems like a bit of a player. Is Gabriel the best? Obviously. Well, probably depends who you ask. Thoughts on Atletico not having hot water? Must have been the reason they lost 4-0. You know? Not having a hot shower the night before the game probably cost them all 4 goals. You're all looking at the winner of the current Arsenal quiz. Yeah, Carter's absolutely basking in the glory. You've got about 45 minutes left to hold on to it, Carter, unless you can win it again today. Do the old back-to-back. Little Ross Lawman VV Vlad special. Why are all of our injuries in attacking positions? Bad luck. Bad luck, really, if you think about it. Madueke and Erdegaard's injuries were both contact injuries that you can't really avoid. Obviously, Jesus has been out for a year, so it is what it is. The good thing is, we've only really got injuries in those positions rather than having a decimated squad. Big teams and Spursy. Yeah, the big teams in the Champions League have been doing well. Literally all of the big teams this week won, other than Atletico Madrid, basically, and like Juventus. Although I wouldn't still consider Juventus is still a big team, but I wouldn't consider them like a big threat in the Champions League. Meanwhile, Spurs got absolutely battered by Monaco and were lucky to come out with a draw. So, with this insane squad depth, what should we focus on in the summer? I think we're too far away. I honestly think we're too, I genuinely think if I sit here now and think about what we need to do in the summer, there are so many variables. Like, I would imagine we go for another centre forward if we get rid of Jesus. But yeah, I think it's difficult. If you were 2 inches in... Oh, God. If you were 2 inches in California... Nah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. I live in the US. I never get to catch these live. I feel like I'm part of something bigger right now. Edgar, you'll love to see it. I'm glad you managed to join us. Get me Alvarez. Yeah, I saw... It's so funny the way that, like, links come out. Alvarez has a good game against Arsenal, and then suddenly you're seeing... Oh, yeah, Arsenal are interested in Julian Alvarez. It's, yeah, all of the transfer stuff, I've got, like, no real interest in talking about right now. I saw Indy Kyler reporting supposedly that Semenyo is open to a move to Liverpool. Well, anyone that knows anyone will tell you Semenyo's first choice is Arsenal, and he wants Arsenal. And also, I don't even understand why Liverpool would be in the market for Semenyo. Like, you've got Gakpo and Ekitike that are comfortable playing off the left-hand side. You've spent so much money on the attack. You need a 6. You need a ball-playing centre-back. You probably need another left-back. They've got a lot. They've got a lot. They quoted Barca 200 mil for Alvarez. Yeah, but it would be different if a Prem team came in. I think it would be different if a Prem team came in. Also, Barca, I saw a thing today. Barcelona still owe 138 million in transfer fees, and they've been told that they need to pay 121 million of that this year, which includes, like, I think they still owe Man City for Ferran Torres. That's how far back some of it goes. So it's kind of crazy. Caicedo links to Madrid. Interesting. I don't feel like Chelsea will sell their top players, though. They don't need to. They've got so many other players that they can sell. I agree, too early to talk about transfers. That said, Alvarez makes sense as he has the Berta connection, and he would perfectly fit our attacking style. Could see that happen, but would be so expensive. Yeah. The other thing is, he literally left the Premier League because he didn't like being a rotational option. And I'm not saying that he'd be a rotational option at Arsenal. Maybe he comes in and starts week in, week out. But, like, would he take that risk at a club that's already got Havertz and Gyökeres? Not sure. Greetings from Estonia 7 Rifles, JMD Video and Photography. I hope you are all doing well. All doing well. Just you. Well, no, all of you. All of you. You and your, what do you call them? Team? Platoon. Not the same platoon that we've got going on here, though. That is for sure. I still think that we need a superstar left winger since Trossard will age out of the squad. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. 200 people here. Let's smash the like button, Goon Platoon. Yeah, please do smash the like button. I never like that phrase. I say it sometimes, but smash the like button. Just click it. You don't need to smash it. Just click it. I'd be grateful. Not even an Arsenal fan. I just like your content. Fernando. I appreciate that. Who do you support? If you support anyone. You don't get it. 24-25 summer. I was crying out for Alvarez. Literally about a Jesus. It is what it is. You're not the only one, to be fair, though. You are not the only one. Greetings from Estonia. More people in Estonia. Fernando supports Chelsea. Do you know what? We've had quite a few Chelsea fans in here historically. I feel like there's Chelsea fans, they pretend to hate us, but some of them love us. Do you think we can look at Yildiz as a Gabi Jesus replacement? He's bipedal and can get games at left wing cam. Possibly, yeah. But like I said, I don't want to talk. Shay, good to see you. I don't want to talk too much about transfers. Right, we're going to talk about Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus' return. Now, according to John Cross in the Mirror today, we are still expecting Gabriel Jesus to return in December. Now, this gives you an idea as to how bad his injury was. He's expected to be back in December, and they are considering that ahead of schedule. Bear in mind, he got injured at the very start of January. So we are looking at, or not the very start of January, early January. You're looking at 11 months out being considered ahead of schedule. And that's because it was more than just his ACL, I assume. I assume there was meniscus damage and all sorts. So credit to him for the rehab that he's done. I'll try and show you. I don't know if this will work very well, but I'll try and show you. So this was the clip that's been put out of Jesus in training. Let me know. Hopefully you can see it. There is no sound, so don't worry about that. Now, this running for me, I don't want to overanalyze it, but he still doesn't look like he's running properly there. That's not rapid, is it? But the finish is good. And to be fair, through this video, in the box, look, his finishing isn't too bad at all. I am hoping you can see this. Obviously, TikTok, you can't see it. This is for the people on YouTube. And then this final finish is unbelievable. Not this one. I mean, that's nice. But this final finish, you love to see. Look at this. Absolutely whips it top bins. But yeah, it's this running bit that I'm like, it's not like, does he look like he's got a bit of a limp there? Like on his left knee, which was the one he did, I feel like it kind of looks like he's not powering through the run, if that makes sense. But it also makes sense that that's why he's not going to be back in. Like he's still at least, if we're looking at December, you're still at least six weeks away from returning. So it's nice to see him back on grass. It's nice to see him kicking a ball. He's got the ability to finish, and And yeah, TSTV, thank you very, very much for the 199 go to football content scene, my friend. I appreciate that massively. Thank you very, very much for the 199 and the kind words. That is very nice of you. Definitely not full speed. No, and he won't look at full speed until he's back. But he isn't at the sprinting stage. No, very possibly not. In terms of where he comes back in and how he comes back in, I think there's no pressure on it whatsoever. Like, we're at the point now, I mean, you easily forget that, when you talk about Arsenal players, you hear people forget that he even exists because of how long he's been out for and because of the depth in attack that we've got. And I just think there's no expectation. The thing is, he is still one of the highest paid players at the club. So there should still be an expectation in that sense. Like, you don't want him just sitting on the bench or not even in the squad for a long period of time until the end of his contract on the wages that he's on. But I think he comes back in and, maybe he gets opportunities here and there. The problem is Havertz, Ødegaard and Madueke are all going to be back before Gabriel Jesus is. I don't really know where he fits into the squad in terms of getting onto the bench even. And we've said this before. If you're looking at our best front three arguably being Saka, when you've got Ødegaard fit, Saka, Gyökeres, Eze, the next three up is then Madueke, Havertz, and either Martinelli or Trossard. And then one of Martinelli and Trossard isn't even making the bench. And Gabriel isn't making the bench either. So it's difficult. Am I lagging? Yeah, I don't. We might be having internet issues. It's okay now. We might be having internet issues. No lag, you're back. It's good now. Okay, apologies for that. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is, when everyone is fit, one of Trossard and Martinelli probably isn't going to make it onto the bench. And Gabriel Jesus will be behind them in the pecking order. So in terms of getting him back into the squad, other than games where you kind of force him in, you're looking at him requiring two attacking players to be injured to even get onto the bench. Now, he offers something different, and maybe actually you put him ahead of a Trossard or a Martinelli if you've already got one of them on the bench anyway. Like, if you've got, let's say you've got Eze starting, you've got Martinelli on the bench. Do you need Trossard on the bench as well? Maybe not. And Jesus offers a completely different thing if he can hit the level that he was at before he got injured, because he can play centrally, he can play wide. He just offers a completely different dynamic in terms of what he is as a player. But I just don't know if he'll even hit that level. And can he get back to that level when he's not really getting any game time? And he's not going to get that game time until he's proven that he can hit that level. I think it's going to be a really difficult situation. And truthfully, and as kind of sad as it is to say it, because I genuinely fell in love with Jesus as a player in his early Arsenal career. There is a conversation that it may be better for us and better for him that he moves on fairly quickly. Now, whether that would be the January window, I don't know if other teams would have seen enough of him to take the gamble in terms of, if you're in January, are you going to buy a player in January that's been out for a year with an ACL and you've not really seen evidence that he's back at any sort of level? I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we do. The reality is we're probably never going to see him come back and play an instrumental part in the squad. And that is incredibly sad. And a huge amount of that is down to injuries, and injuries that we couldn't really have predicted or foreseen. But I'm just glad to see him back kicking a ball. The rehabilitation. I don't know if you've seen any of it, but James Maddison's doing a kind of documentary type thing of him dealing with his ACL, and it is brutal. I know it's like, woe is me. Jesus is on 250 grand a week, right? But it is still brutal to have to go through that and not be able to play. He'll be a good Welbeck replacement, maybe. Ross, good to see you. The streets won't forget first 6 months of Jesus. Yeah, look, pre World Cup Jesus. I genuinely believe pre World Cup Jesus would still be a starting player at Arsenal right now. If he was still at that level, he'd still be a starting Arsenal player. I think that what he offered to that team And with the players that we now have behind him and around him, it's a shame. It's a shame. The Winter World Cup really cost us. I think we easily win the title in 22-23 if Jesus never got injured then. Very possibly. Very possibly. We'll never know. We will never know. Someone said Welbeck would make our team now. Thoughts? I think they're wrong. Look, absolute nothing but credit for Danny Welbeck. Like, the fact that he's still going. He's arguably scoring more goals now than he ever has in his career. In fact, I think he did. I think last season was his highest goal-scoring record in the Premier League. But no, he doesn't. He doesn't start for Arsenal right now. J-Bob, thank you very, very much for the $2. How close to Goon Room official name change? A long way away. A long way away. But I appreciate the $2 nonetheless. I do. Why do Chelsea fans act like they're in a title race? Some of the shit they say. I'm just saying if Arsenal fans said the same things. I don't disagree with what you're saying, that Arsenal can be top of the league, and even then we're not allowed to say that we're in a title race. So, but that said, I wouldn't rule Chelsea out just yet. I wouldn't rule them out. We'll have a chat in a bit about who our biggest threats are. You'd assume the three main threats are Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. But yeah, I wouldn't. Give us a target number. But what should the number be? Because I'm not going to give you a monetary target because I don't want people throwing money at me to change the name. 100,000 subscribers. 100,000 subscribers. Let's do that. When I've got 100,000 subscriber, I don't even know if they do a plaque for it anymore, but something that says I've got 100,000 subscribers, then we'll do it. Gabi Jesus should be example number 1 of why World Cup's taking place in March or September, so the Middle East can get them for... Yeah, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Especially not in March. That is criminal. But no, I completely agree. Rory, do you think it's crazy to put Kolo Touré in top 10 Prem centre-backs of all time debates? I don't think it's crazy, but he wouldn't be there for me. I rated Kolo Touré as a centre-back, obviously. Very good centre-back. I don't think he gets top 10. People act like set pieces are a bad thing. Yeah, they do. And then, do you know what? There comes a point, I've noticed this with Liverpool fans, you actually can't reason with them. They scored two set pieces last night, having berated Arsenal fans and Arsenal for scoring set pieces. They then go and score 2 themselves. And I made a video, right? And I didn't even go at them. I could have made a video being like, oh, you hypocrites. Oh, look at you celebrating set piece goals. I didn't. I was like, football makes hypocrites of us all. It is what it is. You get the set piece goals. Well done. They're still in the comments. They're still in the comments of that video being like, oh, but we don't score that many set pieces. Like, you score all of your goals from set pieces. Literally scored 2 that weren't set pieces against after. But you scored all of them, and we only score some of them. So now there's a limit. No one knows what the limit is, but apparently there's some imaginary number now of set piece goals that you're allowed to score. Where if you score under the limit like Liverpool, that's okay. Celebrate them. If you score over the limit, well, bad club. It's the weirdest thing. And if Arsenal fans were doing this, imagine Arsenal fans were telling clubs how many set-piece goals they were allowed to score and not allowed to score, and what was an acceptable number of set-piece goals to score. It's insane. It is insane. Check out Hand of Arsenal's repost. Ross, you've intrigued me. You have intrigued me, Ross. What has Hand of Arsenal reposted? So he reposted, the only defender I've been really impressed with this season in Ligue 1 is Gabriel from Lille. Brazilian centre-back, tall and powerful, still young. Could he be the one? Impressive. Was that the one you were talking about? Yeah, someone called Gabriel back in 2019. Credit to them. Max, thank you very, very much for the 18 months. Just noticed 1.5 years. Vamos, 25k soon. Max, I appreciate it. That's our second child together. And J-Bob, thank you very much for the $2. Just said, everyone like and share. Let's get him to 100k. There you go. You've got the target. 100,000 subscribers is the target for you. I do appreciate that, J-Bob, honestly. And Yamal Goat 2012, $4.99. Thank you very much for that. Yo, Rory, love the vids. How the convos with Jonathan Morley been recently? Yeah, look, Jonathan Morley is struggling. He is struggling at the moment, isn't he? Bless him. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the meltdowns. I'm enjoying the criticism. Now the Saka one, or is it gone now? I can't see a Saka one. He does that a lot. He reposts and then immediately unreposts. What was it, Ross? I assume he's hinting at the fact that Saka's close to renewing his contract. I assume that's what that is. Where is Havertz in terms of recovery? He's doing well. I think he's either going to be back just before or just after the international break. So, who's better, Gary Neville or Phil Lahm? That's an actual conversation I had today with a United fan. I think Gary Neville is actually heavily underrated. I think Gary Neville has underrated himself as a player so much as a pundit that people don't actually recognize how Phil Lahm is still above Gary Neville, but it's closer than you would maybe think, I would say. David, good to see you. Welcome. No worries, best Firefox. So yeah, so apparently Saka happy and a leader, lol. So hinting at the idea of a new deal. There you go. So apparently I didn't see it and it's gone now. Apparently Hand of Arsenal reposted an old tweet about Saka being happy and a leader at the club. So yeah, look, every time he started doing that previously, he did it with Gabriel. Gabriel signed a new deal. He did it with Saliba. Saliba signed a new deal. So yeah, fingers crossed the new deal for Saka is on the horizon. I don't think it was ever in doubt. I don't think Saka's new deal was ever in doubt. I live in Germany and I had to endure the Dortmund fans telling me that they're a bigger club than us. Game's gone. Bless them. Saka needs to start stat padding because rival fans are getting too giddy. Yeah, but do I care? The goals will come for Saka, but I think he's actually playing at a really high level right now. I saw someone say, and I completely agree with it, even though we beat Atletico 4-0, which is obviously a big win, there's a Premier League team that is due a massive beating. The way Arsenal have been playing and dominating games, there's a Premier League game in the not too distant future that we win 5 or 6-0. And lots of different players get to eat, or Saka gets to grab a hat-trick or something. One of those games is definitely on the horizon. Saka deal was just based on other players' salary. He was always going to sign. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Saka's agent apparently is a bit of a nightmare to work with. But I think it was always the case that they were basically waiting for every other player to sign their deal to make sure that Saka could become the highest paid at the club once we knew what all of them were. Burnley will smack them. Could be Burnley. Don't disagree. Obviously, we will be keeping an eye on the Crystal Palace game tonight. We play them at the weekend. They've got a game against who's it? AEK Larnaca, I think they're playing against. Which, if I was to be completely honest with you, I don't know much about them. Yes, AEK Larnaca. Who even are AEK Larnaca? A Cypriot team. They play in Cyprus. They are fifth in the Cyprus League. So it may not be too tough of a game for Crystal Palace, but I would imagine they will still go full strength. And we'll keep an eye on how that goes. Palace squad is so small that they probably can't afford to rotate much. No, they won't be able to. Trafford feels like such a waste of a talent. I hope he gets his move ASAP. Yeah, I wonder how he feels about moving to City and then being displaced. Thoughts on the 92-94 merch drop? Yeah, it looks good. I can't keep up with the merch drops, though, to be honest with you. There are so many of them, but again, Adidas do smash it. Credit to them. Do you think Havertz gets a new deal, considering it would likely mean he corners club's top earner? He becomes club's top earner. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It wouldn't surprise me if he got a new. The thing is this, right? Could he leave and get paid more elsewhere? Not sure. So I don't know if we would make him the highest earner. We may extend his deal and keep him on roughly what he's on now, or maybe a little bit more. But I don't think he would. I don't think he would become the club's highest paid player. I think you'd be in dangerous territory at that point. If Havertz is a effectively rotational striker option becomes that well paid, every player is going to be looking at wanting more money. That said, I would happily keep him at the club on the money that he's on now. Arteta loves Havertz. No chance he lets him go. I don't disagree. Some here even say that the Bundesliga is bigger than the Prem. I don't even know what to say at this point. Yeah, it's just not. It's just not. There's just by any metric, right? Can you imagine this? And this is absolutely in no way disrespectful to Mark Goldbridge, but can you imagine the Premier League going to Mark Goldbridge and saying, would you mind doing watch-alongs of our Friday night games to try and grow the audience? Like, yeah. Fan culture? I would say fan culture. Oh, I would say fan culture in Germany is better. But that's not that's not the Bundesliga being bigger. Look at the Premier League's revenue. Look at the way that we're dominating. I mean, if you look at the Champions League right now, in terms of the Champions League table, and this is what I was saying in terms of the big teams all taking it very, very seriously. If we look at the table, well, let me bring it up on screen so that you can see it. Let me just bring this up. Probably didn't need to, could have just read it out, but here we go. So if you look at this now, right? PSG, Bayern, Inter, Arsenal, Madrid, Dortmund, City, Newcastle, Barca, Liverpool, Chelsea. That's the top 11. That is crazy. If you compare this, if you go back, I won't find it now, but if you go back and look at game week 3 in the Champions League last season compared to this season, it's crazy the difference in terms of where teams are. Like the top 8 was like Brest. Who else was up there at that point? It was mad compared to what it is now. So the big teams are taking it far more seriously. But also, back to the Bundesliga versus Premier League thing, if you actually look at the Premier League teams, Spurs are in 15th. Other than that, 5 of the top 11 are the English teams. Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, City, Arsenal. 5 of the top 11 in the Champions League right now are the English teams. Whereas if you look at the Bundesliga teams, you've got Bayer Leverkusen down in 30th. You've got Frankfurt down in 22nd. And then you've got Dortmund and Bayern. So, yeah. Spurs brought the average down. Yes, Spurs letting everyone down. Shock. What a shock. Obviously, I was keeping an eye on Club Brugge last night. Like, Club Brugge aren't a bad team. We played them away. Of the sort of games that we definitely should win, they were the one where I was like, man, maybe it could be a challenge. They got battered by Bayern last night. 4-0. Also, Ajax. Wow, they are bad. But yeah, there you go. So that's the current Champions League table. And we do just need to focus on getting that job done and finishing in the top 8. Can we get the name change if Arsenal do the treble? Maybe. What do you want more, Premier League or Champions League? Champions League. For me, I get that. So some people think that the Premier League is harder to win and that the Premier League demonstrates like a higher level of team, right? Because you have to be at that level consistently over the course of the Premier League season. I see where they're coming from. I would also flip it the other way and say, last season, Liverpool won the Premier League without being the best team in the world by a long way. I still don't think that Liverpool team last season was that good. And you saw that in the Champions League when they got knocked out by PSG. So on that thing, like, I kind of get it, kind of don't. The big thing for me, though, is we've won the Premier League before. It was a long time ago, but we've won it before. We've never won the Champions League. And next season, we will be competing for the Premier League title. If we don't win it this season, we'll still be competing for it next season. We'll very possibly be the favourites going into next season. The Champions League's like, if you don't win it this season, you might get shafted next season with a terrible draw and the season after. So, yeah, for me, I also disagree with this. Champions League is historic, but Premier League arguably relieves more immediate banter. I disagree. And to be honest, I don't massively care about the bantering. That's not like hugely factoring into why I want to win the Champions League. If they'll continue bantering us either way, right? That's the way that it works. If we win the Premier League, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United, all of their fans are going to turn around and go, "Where's your Champions League? You've never won a European Cup." If we win the Champions League and not the Premier League, no one really can chat to us because we can turn around and say we're the champions of Europe. We're the champions of Europe. So, yeah, but I couldn't really care less about the banter. Champions League and any cup is a successful season. Yeah, great. But Champions League and nothing else is a successful season. That said, we should be focusing on winning the Premier League from the position that we're in. Also, our squad will be remembered forever if we win the Champions League. Yeah, true. That's also true. If this team won the Premier League, people would look at it, and again, not that it matters, people would still look at it and go, okay, well, this team won the Premier League, but we had an invincible Premier League team, so they had a bigger accomplishment. Whereas if this team wins the Champions League, people go, this team did something that this club has never done before. Like, they are written firmly into history. Guna72, good to see you. Red Skull says, Rory, which player do you think Arsenal should sign in January? Again, like, not massively interested in transfer talk. A Semenyo or a Kenan Yildiz would be ideal, unless we get injuries in a certain position and you have to do something. But I'm not expecting a busy transfer window in January whatsoever. I'm not expecting us to do much business, so I'm kind of struggling to like be interested in it too much because I just don't think we're going to do anything, and it's probably not worth talking about. Is Gabriel Magalhaes, Big Gabi, the best centre-back in the world right now? I don't think that's a crazy question to ask. I really don't. There's a stat, right? Gabriel Magalhaes has 4 goal contributions this season. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists. He's conceded 3 goals. That, for me, is genuinely mental. He's a centre-back with 12 games into the season with more goal contributions than goals conceded. To put that into context, if he was at Liverpool right now, who have conceded 15 goals, he would have needed 16 goal contributions in 12 games to be ahead of it. Like, that is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And you talk about that, and you go, look at the goal contributions, and people go, yeah, but like, that's not, like, no one really cares because the centre-back's meant to defend. Okay, well, he's leading the best defence in Europe, right? We've conceded the fewest goals of any team in Europe's major leagues. So you go, he is defending. And then you look at what he's doing as a leader at the club. And I just think the only thing people will pivot to is trophies, right? That's what they'll say. They'll pivot to trophies. That's not anything to do with his individual ability. And so, and in terms of where we failed to win trophies last season, well, Gabriel Jesus missed the Champions League. So yeah, I think at the moment there is and I also think Van Dijk's not been at his best this season. You know, you're looking at goals that they're conceding. The Mbeumo goal, backing off. The Caicedo goal. I'd say back-to-back Premier League games, Van Dijk has been at least somewhat at fault for the first goal that they conceded in the game. Whereas Gabriel, and it's not just about the goals that he's scoring, by the way, it's about the goals that he is stopping at the other end. You know, the one thing I would say, when we brought in Jakub Kiwior, people rightfully praised Jakub Kiwior for stepping up, because I don't think we thought that he could step up in the way that he did in Gabriel's absence against Real Madrid, those games. But we were undeniably weaker in defence with Kiwior than Gabriel. We were, especially at set pieces, we were conceding a set piece almost every game. It became a real problem. You put Gabriel back in there, and it's all good. Roma's defence has been very solid. I'm sure it has been solid. Is it better than ours? I don't think Roma's defence has been better than ours, has it? Well, Roma have also conceded 3 goals in... Well, they've conceded 3 goals in the... No. Because Roma have conceded 3 goals in Serie A, and they've also conceded 2 goals in the Europa League. So Roma have conceded 5 goals so far this season. We've conceded 3. So no, Roma's defense has been good, but not better than ours. There's nearly 400 of you here. If you could subscribe and like the stream, I would be massively grateful. First time catching the Goom Room, Austin. Welcome. People genuinely don't realize how high our floor is right now. Yeah, it's crazy. Gabriel had a massive block against Newcastle right after we scored as well as many other important blocks and last-ditch tackles. He's number 1 for me currently. Yeah, I just think he is. I think the way that we play, and again, like people will say, oh, but look at the defenders that he's got around him. But actually, if you ever try and big up Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly, people will say that they can't defend. Like the same people that wouldn't let you have that Gabriel is the best defender on the planet right now, they'd be the first to tell you that Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly aren't good at defending. So in that sense, and that's on his side. So I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that right now he's the best. We've forgotten about Mosquera, but what a player he is too. Yeah, look, the depth is insane. The depth's insane. I think as an out-and-out defender, Timber may be the best in our team. Yeah, possibly. But 4 centre-backs and 3 DMs? Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Final talking point before we get into the quiz. Who is our biggest threat? And let me know in the comments here. Who is our biggest threat in the Premier League? And who is our biggest threat in the Champions League? And I'll let you know mine. In the Premier League, I think it's City. And the reason I think it's City and not Liverpool, as much as City have a reliance on Erling Haaland right now, City seem a lot more solid. It's actually one of the things I didn't think City would have going into this season. They feel a lot more solid. And if they can see out games without conceding goals, you only need Haaland to score 1 or 2. And so I think that solidity, it will also help them go much deeper. You know, it's the one thing that I've always said, really. When you've got to chase games a lot, when you're needing last-minute winners, even for Liverpool last night, going 1-0 down and needing to chase it. Isak supposedly got a groin injury. Frimpong got injured. I think City are the ones that will be able to consistently just keep picking up results. They won't win every game. There will be games that they drop, but yeah, I think City are the biggest threat in the Prem. I think Chelsea are up there, by the way. I wouldn't rule out Chelsea completely just yet. I don't think they'll hold it for the whole season. I think when we get into the deeper stages of the Champions League, they've got certain positions where they're weak when they need to rotate. In the Champions League, I think Bayern Munich are, because I think we can beat PSG. I think the way Barcelona and PSG look great, but I think, and obviously we didn't beat PSG last year. I think we would have beaten them with Gabriel and Havertz, let alone Gabriel, Gyökeres, Eze. I do genuinely think we're capable of beating PSG. And the same with Barca. I think the Barca high line, I think we'll beat them. Bayern is the team that I look at right now. They've won 12 out of 12 games so far this season. They're putting on absolute demolition jobs left, right, and centre. I think they've scored 44, conceded like 9 or something like that. And they've got someone in Harry Kane that is in the form of his life, which, considering the career he's had, is pretty impressive. Company's Bayern is soft. But do you know what it is, right? I apply the same logic that I apply to Arteta to Company. Like, the Bayern team are only soft until they're not soft. And that's what people said about us. Soft underbelly. We were the soft underbelly. We were until we weren't. And I think I'm looking at them this season. I don't think they do look that soft, to be honest with you. We can stop Bayern soon. Well, this is why I'm really actually excited for that game against Bayern in the group stage, in the league phase, which is just after the international break. We play them at home. I think that is a really good test. I think that's going to be, because, like, as long as we do our business everywhere else, if we draw against Bayern at home, it's not the end of the world. But I think it'll be a really good test for us, and I think it will tell us a lot about where we are and where they are. Because you might be right. People saying that company Bayern team are soft. We'll see. If they come to the Emirates and they hold us to a draw or they even beat us, that's not soft. The schedule, no, it's not called the Goon Show. The Goon Show it doesn't even rhyme. The schedule's not ideal. We've got Spurs, Chelsea, either side of Bayern, which is not nice, but that week is going to be interesting. Spurs home, Bayern home, Chelsea away. Yeah, the only good thing about that is that we don't leave London. So you're right in the sense that like it's a difficult 3 games to have. We should have a lot of squad depth for it because by that point, Erdogan, Havertz, and Madueke should all be back. But I would say, let me just bring up our matches. So yeah, we play, and in fact, we play Spurs at home, Bayern at home, Chelsea away, Brentford at home. So we go a long period there without leaving London. I don't know what Bayern's fixtures are like around that. I don't know if they're easier or harder than ours, to be honest. They play, no, they play Freiburg at home and St. Pauli at home, either side of us. So yeah, they've got a pretty easy run. But look, it is what it is. I just think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good test. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry. I did smash the like button. Please forgive me. Listen, I appreciate it. If you've not already clicked the like button, please do. Have you got any rumors on why Turkish and James left AFTV? I've not, but I think they've got a new show, right? I saw a thing today that looks pretty good. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. I don't really follow much of the... I'll tell you what I did see, though. Now that you brought AFTV up, I saw a clip. I couldn't believe it, right? I thought it was bad enough when... what's his name? The guy... What's his name? The AFTV guy that complained after we beat West Ham, right? Or didn't complain. The guy that said he wouldn't celebrate winning against West Ham until we win a trophy. I thought that was bad enough, like not celebrating a win because we haven't won a trophy. Yardman. I saw a clip of a guy on FTV after the Atletico Madrid game complaining that the first half was boring and complaining that we needed set pieces. I'm like, you cannot be an Arsenal fan. Like, you are more of a social media fan. Even though he was at the game, you're more of a social media fan if you've just watched your team. And he was going, this was crazy thing. He was going, that's not Arsenal. This wasn't Yardman, by the way. This wasn't Yardman. He's going, that's not Arsenal. That's not the way we win games. Sorry, have you seen us in the Champions League? Because I've never seen us beat someone like Atletico Madrid 4-0 in a game like that. This idea that we used to just play teams, top teams. The idea we used to play top European teams off the park in the Champions League. Like, all that is someone that is chronically online and wants to appease rival fans. That is someone going in front of the camera and saying what they want rival fans to hear. You've just watched your team beat Atletico Madrid 4-0 in a Champions League game. And you're saying, but the first half was a bit boring. Honestly, like, you will never, ever enjoy football or enjoy what Arsenal are doing if that is your mentality. Absolutely insane. Anyway, don't know where that rant came from, but I saw the clip today and I didn't bother making a video about it, but I was just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? They're talking to impress rival fans. I genuinely hate it. It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the show. We've got the quiz question. So if you want to stick around for that, I appreciate it. Get your fingers on your keyboards. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. The quiz question today is this. The last time we played Crystal Palace, we drew 2-2. But who opened the scoring for Arsenal in the 3rd minute? The last time we played Crystal Palace, we drew 2-2. But who opened the scoring for Arsenal in the 3rd minute? Someone's got it. Lots of people have got it. Here we go, sports fans. I can see people getting done. Two different people have been done by the same autocorrect. You hate to see it. But the first person to get it right was it was Carl. It was indeed Jakub Kiwior. I believe what would have been his last goal for Arsenal Football Club. But there you go. RHOA, I'm almost certain that was Kiwior and it auto-corrected to Licker because it did it to Gus Jed as well. So I am going to give RHOA second place. Third was Spoofer. Fourth was Gus Jed. And fifth was Nolan Dagote. So there you go. It was indeed Jakub Kiwior. Ross Lawman, VAR check. Goal given to Carl. So there you go. Congratulations, Carl. That is going to be the end of the show. I massively appreciate all of you joining. The fact that we were pushing up to like nearly 400 viewers on a show like this where there's no real news and we're just chatting is amazing. I love the way that we've built this community. Talking of the community, if you do ever want to continue the Arsenal conversation, if you want notifications and stuff for whatever I'm doing, like yesterday I was on TalkSports Inside Gooners, and I put a link to that in the Discord. So if you use Discord, you want to join the community that we've got going, the Discord is linked down in the description. Other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. We will be keeping an eye out on the Crystal Palace game. We'll be back tomorrow with another stream. And yeah, other than that, appreciate you. Oh, like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Until then, goodbye.